What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of the FREQ Talks Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about something super important. Yes, macros yet again. But today, we're going to do episode 2 of a 4-part series where we're discussing each individual macro. So last time we discussed these, we talked about carbohydrates and the different types of carbohydrates that there are and where you want to try to get your carbohydrates from. This time, we're going to talk about fat. No, not body fat. This time, we're going to talk about nutritional fat. Now, when it comes to fat, fat is actually higher in calories than any of the other macronutrients, alcohol included, per gram of nutritional fat. So 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories per each gram. Now, there is a pretty big difference in where you're going to be getting your fat calories from, and that's what we want to talk about today. You've probably heard about unsaturated fats and saturated fats. Saturated fats are fats that are actually solid at a room temperature. These are going to be things that are like butter, coconut fats, bacon fats, those types of things. When they're sitting at room temperature, they form into a solid. This is primarily due to the long, straight fat molecule that exists inside of these different types of saturated fats. So saturated fats are going to be mostly derived from your animal sources. Now, unsaturated fats are going to be the ones that are going to be in a soft form when they're sitting at room temperature. And this is due to the curvy nature of the fat molecule inside of unsaturated fats. Unsaturated fats are mostly going to come from plant and sea life, basically fish, sources. So which one is going to be better for you? Which one is healthier? Which one should you be eating on a regular and a consistent basis? The answer technically is both. You should definitely be getting both saturated and unsaturated fats in your diet pretty regularly. Now, when it comes to fats, we typically don't consciously think about what we're trying to consume when it comes to getting in those fat calories. This is because fats typically are generally automatically included with carbohydrates and with proteins. So the only time we ever really consciously think about adding fats to our food is going to be when we're adding an oil to our cooking pan, or when we're adding, an oil or a dressing to our salad, right? Something like that is when we're typically going to think about when we're specifically adding fats to our meals. Another common thing with fats is that they are typically considered or typically thought of to be a primary cause of cardiovascular disease, heart disease, high cholesterol, all those types of health conditions that typically are attributed to having a high fat diet or being, not eating the correct types of fats when you are, figuring out what you're going to eat in your dietary regimen. However, studies in the last couple of decades have actually shown that fat isn't really attributable to any sort of cardiovascular disease. This is typically due to inflammation and metabolic syndrome. In fact, unsaturated fats have been proven to not only increase your metabolism, they help reduce inflammation, and they help with brain function all at the same time. And the typical diet these days doesn't actually consist of enough fatty acids, particularly omega-3 fatty acids, that unsaturated fat that you're going to get from plant and sea life sources. Basically because in the modern day diet, we don't eat as much fish as we used to in the Paleolithic era, in former times when there was the hunter-gatherers and people would go fishing off the coast and bring back a bunch of fish to eat. So in the modern day diet where food is plentiful, we don't actually get enough fish in order to fill us up with the proper amount of omega-3s. This is one of the reasons that some form of a essential fatty acid or an omega-3 supplement is going to really help with inflammation, your metabolism, with increasing brain function, your regulating hormones, all those kinds of things. It's one of the few supplements that we recommend absolutely everybody take. So while you should be ensuring that you consume enough saturated and unsaturated fats, there is one type of fat that you definitely want to be avoiding, and that is going to be processed fats. Processed fats are fats that are added to foods that will extend their shelf life in the grocery store. So those types of foods that can sit there for, weeks and years and never go bad, those are going to be primarily due to the processed fats that have been added and processed and added into the food during the manufacturing process of getting that food ready to be delivered to grocery stores so that it can sit on the shelf for an extended period of time without ever going bad. If you buy a package that expires tomorrow versus a package that expires in 6 months, it's going to taste the exact same. And that is heavily due to the processed fats that are added into the food during the manufacturing process. So where should you be getting your fats from? As we already discussed, saturated fats, you're already going to get those through mostly animal sources. So if you eat an animal-based protein diet, you're going to get plenty of saturated fats. Therefore, you're going to want to try to target the unsaturated fats in your regular diet. Some really good sources of an unsaturated fat are going to be extra virgin olive oil, seeds and nuts, avocados, eggs, and some form of a cold water fish like salmon, mackerel, cod, tuna, those types of fish. Fats have gotten a really bad rap, particularly in the last couple of decades, primarily due to the assumption or the story that adding in fats to your diet will make you fat. That's incorrect. Fats are especially important for any form of diet that you're on, especially if you're on, some sort of a weight loss phase. Fats are going to improve your metabolism. They're going to improve your immune system. They're going to improve your brain function. They're going to improve your hormones. Fats are very critical to the everyday diet. So we want to make sure that we aren't skipping out on getting those calories from fats in. I typically aim for somewhere in the 30 to 35% of my daily caloric intake comes from some sort of a fat source or comes from fat calories. In that process, we should probably be aiming to consume, particularly if you're on an animal-based diet, you should probably be aiming to consume some sort of unsaturated fat regularly with basically every single meal. A thumb size portion of some sort of an oil or avocado or nut or something like that is going to really help you to improve and just make sure that you're getting enough fats in with every single meal. And you should especially give priority to omega-3 fatty acids, omega-3 fats that you can get from cold water fish or some sort of a essential fatty acid supplement, such as fish oil, krill oil, those types of things. All right, guys, so just to close this out, fats, this one's a little bit shorter than the carbohydrates one. There's a little bit less to go into. That said, fats are essential for ensuring that your body gets all of the nutrients that it needs, helps boost your immune system, your brain function, your hormones, it reduces inflammation. Fats are going to be critical to ensuring that you achieve your goals. So don't skip out on fats. On the next episode where we're talking about macros, we'll be going into protein and all things protein-based, animal-based, plant-based, all of it. We'll be handling that real soon. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll see you next week. Hey, what's up? Thank you for checking out this episode of the FREQ Talks Podcast. If you found this interesting, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so that you get notified every time we upload a new video. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.